Something that I used to do as a small child, and let's be honest, I continue to do it even as I approach the age of 21, is apologize for stuff that I don't have to apologize for. As a self-identified people pleaser, in general, in situations, I want to make as many people happy as possible, and if I can't make one person happy, that's gonna upset me, because I want to make everyone happy, right? Because that matters very much to me. Matters a lot. The major difference between small child version of me and current version of me is that I validated my entire existence based on the amount of people I made happy, whereas now I really don't care. You know, I like to, but I don't need to. It's a big step. In general, I would apologize for small stuff that I didn't have to apologize for, like talking or saying words. I would just automatically assume that I would offend someone just by doing something, and that's not a way to live. Similarly, there are some big things that people apologize for that they should not have to apologize for, and I don't usually do list videos like this, but it's 3 basic major ones that people apologize for that they really should not have to. First, your physical appearance, and this can be a number of things, like how you actually look, like face, hair, and other stuff, and also what you wear. I don't understand what is so difficult to understand about this concept, that you don't dress for other people. You dress for yourself. Like, what you wear, what you decide to look like, that's you. That's really for nobody else but yourself. Sure, a secondary reason for dressing a certain way or doing a certain thing with your hair could be for other people, but the first thing should always be for you. Like, when I do my stuff in the morning and I make myself the way I look, I do that because I like to do that, because that's how I want to look. Because when I look in the mirror, that's what makes me confident in myself. Not really for other people, because that's, again, a secondary after-the-fact thing. And I feel like this point needs to be hammered home, especially with what you're wearing, because people get so offended by what other people wear at them, and that's just redonkulous. It's redonkulous. Unless you're wearing like a t-shirt with Hitler on it that says, "I agree with what this guy had to say," you know, you should be fine, because really, as long as you're not hurting anyone, you are fine, really. And that's kind of the bottom line of most things, especially with how you look and or what you're wearing. Like, why do you care so much? It doesn't affect you at all. You shouldn't care. The second thing that you should never have to apologize for, ever, is your sexuality, right? Even though we live in a world where people are still offended by the idea of anything other than heterosexuality, right? You still shouldn't have to apologize for it. You shouldn't. Who you like, who you're attracted to, like, again, that's something that affects no one else but you, individually. And it's just kind of ridiculous that we live in a world where people care so much about that. They care so much about things that have nothing to do with them, and I find that to be ridiculous. I'm a huge advocate of feelings, right? Feeling them honestly, and feeling them unfiltered. Huge advocate of it. And if you have to be sorry about how you're feeling about another person, that's not feeling them honestly. That is feeling them completely through a filter, or completely hiding those feelings from yourself whatsoever, and other people, and that's not fair to you. That isn't fair. It is so unhealthy to not feel things honestly. It is so unhealthy to bottle them up and keep them inside of you, because that just eats away at you, both physically and mentally. This goes back to the umbrella theme of, if you're not hurting anyone, or yourself, why do other people care about it? Right? It's ridiculous. It's not about them, it's about you in this case. These are your feelings, these are how you're reacting to people, and you shouldn't have to apologize for that. And the third and final thing that you should never, ever, 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 ever have to apologize for, ever, would be mental illness. There are still those out there who believe that mental illness is not a legit real thing. Right? There are those who think that it is something that you do to yourself. It is just, you know, a bad times and people unable to deal with their emotions. And no, that's not. That's far from it. It's an illness. It's mental illness. Like, and that's every doctor who's ever been a doctor, who's like a good doctor, will tell you it's real. So first of all, accept that it is illness when people have different varying mental illnesses, such as depression, anxiety, addiction, schizophrenia. It's all mental illness. It's all disease. And I see so many people, even when they're coming to me to talk to me about their problems, apologize for how they're feeling and apologize for being sad about that. And you shouldn't apologize for that. You should not apologize for being sick. You wouldn't ask a cancer patient to apologize for walking slowly down a hallway because they don't have the energy to move at regular speed. In the same way that you shouldn't ask a person with anxiety to apologize for being nervous when giving a presentation in front of a lot of people. It's not obviously differing severities, but it's the same basic concept. Not only does that attitude marginalize somebody's mental condition, but it also makes them feel so unsafe. And for somebody who is suffering with any kind of mental disease, feeling safe is one of the most important things. Like, first and foremost, when I am going through anything related to my depression or my anxiety, the first thing I think about is getting myself into a safe environment where I can breathe, take a step back, and trust people around me. There have been so many times where I've been in like the middle of a panic attack or something, and I've removed myself from like the general social area just to kind of breathe and take a step back for a second, and people have looked at me like I am insane, when in fact I'm really just doing what I have to do to calm myself down. And that feeling of people looking at me like I am a freak, that makes me want to say that I am sorry to those people for making them uncomfortable, when in fact, it's none of their business. I'm getting kind of ranty here. Let's wrap this up, because really what I'm trying to say is you should not be sorry for being you. I like to look at every single person on this planet as their own individual story. Right? And everyone is writing their own story. And in every story, every good story at least, there's a bit of conflict. There are things that go wrong. Everybody has their problems. Everybody's got their stuff. And there are so many different kinds of problems that can happen to each individual person, but every single person, nobody's got a perfect life. Not a single person has a perfect life on this planet, because a perfect life does not exist, because perfection does not exist. And I think that's a beautiful unifying feature of humanity, that we all have our problems. We've all got our stuff. We're all surviving our problems. At least everyone who's alive right now is surviving their problems, because we're waiting and we're working towards the good stuff about being alive, all of us. And I think sometimes we focus on the wrong things, and we focus on things that really have nothing to do with our individual lives and have no effect on us whatsoever, yet we care so much about it. So what is the point of all this? The point is to just do you. Okay, there's gonna be haters out there, there's gonna be people who are gonna make you feel like you need to say sorry about being yourself, but don't. Don't. Because the moment you start apologizing for being yourself is the moment that you start letting other people decide what your life is gonna be. And that's no way to live, really. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. I'm curious as to what you guys think in the comments and stuff, and yeah, as always, I'm Connor Manning. You've just become a little more awesome, and I will see you guys on Friday.